Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Happy Tuesday to you if you're listening on the day it downloads, and well done if you are, because you're hardcore. And well done to these lovely people who've got some questions in. But before we get to them, let's give you a quick reminder of how you can get your question into us and hopefully answered on the show.
Yeah, well done to you as well if you have this number saved or memorised. But if not, I'll read it out for you. It's 013 808 00035, or you can go to propertyhub.net/ask and leave us a voicemail there. Dead easy, only takes a few seconds, and you get your question answered. What more do you want? Well, that was good enough for Reese. So let's have a listen to this question.
Hello, Rob and Rob. It's Reese from Plymouth. Thanks so much for all the content you guys provide. It's really helped me gain the confidence to start investing in property. My question is actually about getting started. I'm working, but I'm still living at home with my parents. Would it be silly of me to start buying rental property while I'm living at home? I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
Reese, if you are in that position, then lucky you. Why not, is the response. If you can invest in property while living at home, and therefore I imagine your expenses are very low, then it puts you in a great position. If you've got no intention to move out right now, whether that be buying or renting, and your parents are still quite happy to have you, but you've got the funds to invest, then crack on. Now that's the good news. Something to make you aware of, it's not bad news, but it's just an awareness point, is your first mortgage is definitely going to be more challenging because you'll be a first-time buyer, a first-time investor. And when you go for a mortgage, there's lots of different things that will kind of strike out different lenders. So sometimes it's your age, if you're more mature, but I doubt you are. Sometimes it's the value of the property. There's loads of different reasons, but being a first-time buyer and a first-time investor are definitely reasons to strike out a lot of lenders. Now, the good news is there are lenders available, and you should, all being well, be able to get a mortgage, and a reasonably good one as well. But don't be working out any of your numbers on the best rates out there, because they're just not going to apply to you. So my advice would be, if you're serious about this, is speak to a mortgage broker sooner rather than later, understand your options, and then with the rates that they give you, move forward. Now, if you get to a mortgage broker and they say there are no products out there, change your mortgage broker. A lot of mortgage brokers are not buy-to-let experts. They might just do a few on the side. There are lots of brokers out there who are experts at this and will be able to get you a mortgage. So if you do get a no early on, it's probably because they just haven't done enough work to find you the options, but they do exist. So best of luck, and do let us know how you get on. It sounds like you've got a great property future ahead of you.
Okay, let's have a listen to our next question. This one is from Bailey.
Hey Rob and Rob, it's Bailey from London. I'm quite new to the podcast. I'm really loving it, and I'm slowly making my way back through all the episodes. There's quite a lot. My question's about pensions versus property. So I'm ready to buy my first buy-to-let property, but my parents have a really strong opinion that private pension is a better way to go. Just wondering what your thoughts are on this. Thank you.
Well, Bailey, this is a huge question, property or pension. There's not one I could do justice to in just a few minutes, but have a go at hitting some of the key points. The first thing to say is that in an ideal world, you would do both. So Rob and I are heavily invested in property, and we've been putting out a podcast on it for over 8 years, but that doesn't mean that property is all we invest in. So if you can have other investments as well, that's great. But when you are starting out, the reality of it often is that you can only put your savings towards one purpose. So you do have a choice to make. There are good reasons for options other than property. Ease being one. Property can be hard work, and having more diversification, more options, being able to get more international exposure, those are all good reasons. But when you look purely in terms of the returns you can get, it looks pretty close until you put leverage into the mix. In other words, using mortgages, which we've just been talking about in the previous question. Leverage does introduce more volatility because it magnifies your returns in both directions. But whenever you look at historical returns from property, normally it's just assuming that you bought the property in cash in the same way as you would if you invested in shares. But if in fact you just put down, say, 25%, then if you work out the leveraged return on the money that you put in, property has historically outperformed. Also with property, of course, if you're interested in it and you've got the skills and the ability, you can add value to property in the way that you couldn't with another kind of investment. So there are reasons to do that. To understand this topic a bit more, I strongly recommend you go and watch our Property Hub University course called How Property Will Make You Rich in the Long Term. It's completely free. It'll only take you an hour or so, but I think it will give you a really good perspective on what property has to offer. It is worth saying, though, that on the pension side of things, if you've got a job and if your employer is offering to match your contributions, then that is basically free money. So while I said you probably need to direct your savings towards one or the other, if you've got the option of making contributions through your salary and you get some kind of employer match and that match is attractive, then that is well worth considering. So it might be the case that even if you are excited about property, you do decide to keep some pension contributions going on as well, because that is a really great benefit. So lots for you to be thinking about there. But by starting at a young age, whatever you decide to do, I'm sure you'll do very well indeed.
So thank you, Reese, and thank you, Bailey, for your questions. And thank you for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with the Property Podcast. And of course, back next week with Ask Rob and Rob. So until then, take care, have fun.